All right, guys, welcome back into another PGA DFS live video. Got the Sony open. Already got some questions flowing, or some comments. Andrew's wondering about EVR coming back strong. So for me personally, I don't see that happening. I'm not too confident with EVR for this tournament. Just it's more of a price point thing. I just don't really get the price point for him. Not sure if he was down kind of by Charlie Hoffman, that would make much more sense. Where it's worth the risk, where you could catch a guy on the upslope of form. Yeah, I just don't see it with him. Thoughts on Jim Furyk? Jim Furyk, I'm fine with. Jim Furyk, is he playing? I'm thinking of Stuart Sink. I didn't even think Jim Furyk was playing. If he did, he's not popping for me. All right, so he is. Let's pull him up. I shall pull him up on the player sheet. Model rank, not that good. Price point, not that good. Yeah, I'm staying away from Jim Furyk, although interesting. Okay, I see it, Mike. I see it, Mikey. Strokes gain tee to green, 37th. Birdie to bogey ratio, 3rd. Strokes gain approach. That is interesting. Top 21 stat fit. That's interesting. I don't mind it. I don't. I'm fine with if you're seeing that, I get it. I think that'd be worth the risk in a lineup there. That's not a bad call there. Brian Gay. Yeah, Brian wants some love for Brian Gay. Let's see. I had to double take that question there, by the way. Yeah, it did. It definitely came out. I definitely had to read that twice there. Um, yeah, so Brian Gay doesn't have enough kind of data to come through for all the stats, and he's not good otherwise. Recent form wise, all right. Let's see tournament history. Tournament history is okay. This typically would be an event where he would play well at. Last week, 29th finish. So the only benefit that Brian Gay gets this week is that he did play last week. That might be able to help him a little bit. And this is obviously a course that he's played well at previously. So I am struggling with the value tier range other than the few that I really do like. And Gim and Malnati, that's like no surprise to anyone. And then there's a couple of others that I like as well. So yeah, I could find a way where I get onto Brian Gay. So Kevin Kisner at 8.8 is too much, or is it too much? Yeah, I would say that's a little bit too much for me, especially. I don't know. Kisner gets talked up by one certain PGA DFS content group there, to the point where he's always priced up a little bit too much, or he doesn't ever like return the value that he should. But whenever he does do well, they make it seem like it was a great call. When really, if you do that with anyone, they're eventually gonna hit. I could do that with. Let me pick a name out of a hat here. I guess Billy Horschel. I could do that with Billy Horschel if I wanted to. I kind of do that with Troy Merritt, to be honest with you. But yeah, he's just definitely priced up too much. Now he could have a good week. It's not going to surprise anyone if he does have a good week. Heck, he could go on and win it. But I'm not really expecting it. Tournament history here been pretty good. He played last week, I believe. Yeah, he played last week as well, so that is benefiting him as well. But yeah, there's just nothing like too crazy that I would want to go off of, especially with players at that same price point. Let me just pull up a couple of them. Ryan Palmer for comparison reasons, and then Henley, and then Zach Johnson, just for comparison reasons here. We can easily see, just looking at it, that, Kisner really isn't a top end play compared to those other guys. Now he's fine. I mean, he is not bad, but Henley's a better play. Zach Johnson's a better play. Ryan Palmer's a better play. And then Substrack, I'm actually glad that you asked about him because he was the last player that I took off the player pool. And I don't know if I feel good about that. I really don't. Substraka caught my eye early on in the week, and then as the week went on, I couldn't find a way to get him into my builds. And that's the players I liked in this price point range. I just liked a little bit more than him. But yeah, if you're ended up on Seb Straka, I get it. I do. It's a play where it makes sense to me. You can see the stats there. Top 15 strokes gained to the green, strokes gained approach, birdie to bogey ratio, strokes gained total. Yeah, so I get it with Seb Straka, especially at that price point. How about Adam Scott? So Adam Scott, I chose not to put him in my player pool, but I feel good about Adam Scott this week. It's just a matter of having to cut down the player pool. So Adam Scott, I'd be fine with. He's not going to pop too much, like stat wise. That's just not going to happen. Obviously, he hasn't played that many events. I'm fine with him though. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine. I think he'll make the cut. I think he'll do well. I think he'll get like a top 30 finish. That's Adam Scott to me is one of those plays where if you're at the end of your build, you know, you got your 5 players in that you feel good about it. You got around his salary left over. You put him in, plug him in, feel pretty good about it. I'm fine with that. Any new top end guys you're feeling later in the week? Let's see. So yes and no. The problem I'm having this week is that it's like Abraham Ancer and Cameron Smith. I like them both, but kind of for different reasons. Cameron Smith, the only reason I don't like him is because he won this event last year, right? Is that correct? Let me just double check that. Yeah, he won this event last year. And for some reason, it seems like lately, just kind of this fall swing that, or kind of the past 6 months, when a player has won, they haven't exactly done well. A lot of them have missed the cut. And now most of that's due to the fact that they just were in bad recent form. They weren't really going to be a good pick that week. Where I think Cameron Smith, he is going to be a good pick. He's checking all the boxes. And then Abraham Ancer, I was just kind of looking at it more. And I'm like, it feels wrong not to be on him at like that much. Recent form rank's been solid. Stat rank top 30, which does worry me a little bit. Course history rank 39th. I mean, it's still not bad. Recent form we can see 2019, 2018, sorry. You know, those aren't bad finishes, 38th and 29th. That's not bad. He's been in good recent form. So, yeah, I like Abraham Ancer. I got on him more as the week went on. Am I concerned about playing Webb? Yes and no. The problem with Webb is that he's so easy to fit in. And the problem with Webb is that the next best plays are Harris English and Joaquin Niemann, to me at least. And we have reasons to fade those guys. So that is the worry there. I do kind of want to, so yeah, Webb Simpson. Also, if you guys want to, make sure to check this out. We have the lineup builder up live there. It's got the ownership projection going there as well. This may not be something that continues unless you guys really do like it. Because typically with golf, I don't like to focus on ownership as much, really that much, because to me, it's all about, hey, we need to get 6 for 6 across the cut line. To me, it doesn't matter what the ownership levels are. But if you are trying to mass enter, then yes, that does come into play a little bit. And there's certain ways that you can kind of go around making the build here now too, where you can kind of change the max ownership of a player, and you can kind of adjust it to where if you want a player just at their ownership, you can do that with the lineup builder specifically. So that's why it's kind of included in there. It's a good tool to use. So just kind of looking it over, highest owned players, we got Webb Simpson, we got Colin Morikawa. Ancer, that's surprising. Berger, that's surprising to me. Kevin Kisner, whew, I hope that's wrong. 18%. Well, let's look over some of the players that we're on. Russell Henley, 15. That still seems a little bit too. These are kind of crazy. I really like Grillo. Patton Kazire. So, I don't know. Any of you guys listen to like EDM at all? There's a song like Desire. Is it Desire? I always think of that song when I see Patton Kazire. I might have to. If he does well, I'm going to do like a video with that song in there, but it's just going to be Patton Kazire's face on there. So once he wins this week, you guys will see that out there. Keegan Bradley, I don't mind. He's very low owned. So Matt Naismith, our boy, is getting pumped up a decent amount. 12% for him. I was a little bit worried about it, but that's not that much. You know, none of the ownerships are too crazy, though, at all. I do think Ancer is way too high, and I think Kisner's is a little bit too high. Those would be the ones where I would fade if we had to do that. But I am feeling pretty good about kind of overall the player pool here. Webb at 26. That does worry you, but once again, it's very easy to fit him in there. Let's see who the highest owned value plays. Brian Gay. So that's why I guess he was brought up. Michael Thompson. So I actually do get this. This is another one of those plays where I kind of left him off the build right at the end. So if we want to think about it, players that were here last week do kind of get a bump, typically speaking. And that's the biggest reason, I guess, for him. But it does kind of make sense for a value play if you're really trying to make it work. But then why wouldn't we think about like Nick Taylor, who had one good round as well, or Streb, I guess, as well, who had one good round as well. I guess they're not as good as stat fits. Like Adam Schenk, he's been a good stat fit for us this whole fall. You could go with him instead. Don't mind that. Yeah, there's a lot of decent value plays down there in that price point range as well that you can really make it work with Web Simpson pretty easy. That 7K range is pretty easy. And I am actually going to go through it, and I might max enter this week for the Sony Open. Feeling pretty good about the tool here. You can change the projections to kind of how you see fit. So once again, if I want to get Webb in there a decent amount, I could easily do that. Just bump up his projection to like what I want him at. That's what I'm going to do. Same thing with like Palmer. I bump that up to like 90. Maybe eventually we're going to have like sortable projections in there that are like my projections for it. But right now I want it to be used so that you guys can put in the players that you see fit. So like I really like Emiliano Grillo this week, but you guys might not like him. You guys might be favoring Charles Howell because he has that good course history. You guys could do that instead. And that's why I left it this way so that you guys can do it how you see fit. I think that's a very beneficial tool to a lineup builder, is being able to tell it what you want it to do instead of all the ones I've seen out there are ones where it tells you what to do, and then it doesn't spit out kind of what you want. Now, yes, with any lineup optimizer, it's going to take a little bit to get used to it, to figure out how to use the tool. But I feel like this one's very simple and easy to use, and you can kind of tell it what you want it to do. So I feel pretty good about it as a kind of just a tool in general. I did want to kind of touch on some bets as well, but let's see. So yeah, I'm going to pull them up on the 9 to 5 right up here. So if you guys are already a member, you guys will have already seen the players that I'm on a decent amount. It's weird because it doesn't exactly match completely how I feel about this week. There's a decent separation between players that I think are going to make the cut and players that I think could win. So like someone like Doug Gim, I like at 175 to 1. I feel good about that. And same thing with Matthew Naismith. He's 101 or 100 to 1 to win. Like those guys could easily go out and win. And then you got Patton Kazire at 80 to 1. I feel really good about those long shot bets. They feel pretty good. And then Joaquin Niemann, like I wouldn't be surprised if he came out and bounced back too at 28 to 1. I feel really good about those potential bets. I really like English. Honestly, there's no reason to fade English at all. Like he is the exact guy where he takes it shot by shot. He is so nonchalant with the way he approaches the game, which is honestly perfect to me. I think that's the perfect approach you'd want with a golfer. And I have no reason to fade him. Actually, I'll pull him up on this slide. I like this one a little bit better for live streams. So yeah, there's no reason to fade him. I guess course history would be the reason, I guess. Okay, but we know that this year, over the past year, he's been playing the best golf of his career. He's a completely different golfer. I like that he's been getting progressively better. That's one of those things that I like to look at in a golfer for course history. If they're getting better, that is a bonus, and he has done that. Obviously been a great reason for him. I mean, if we've been playing him in a stud, there's no reason to fade him. One of the things that people tend to do with DFS is like quit a player before they need to, just because they kind of feel the need to be on someone else. Yeah, sure, Harris English won. We can check that off finally. But yeah, I feel good about it. I mean, strong strokes gained to the green, birdie to bogey ratio. Strokes gained approach could be a little bit better, but whatever. Total driving ball. I mean, everything's there for him. So yeah, I completely get Harris English as a play. There's no, I don't want to say there's no reason to fade him because yeah, he did just come off a victory and the course history isn't great, but I feel really good about him as well. It does kind of suck that him and Joaquin Niemann both obviously are due to regress, but they're strong plays. I mean, Joaquin Niemann, the best ranked player stat-wise this week. I don't know. I feel good about it. I feel good about those two. I do. I just, kind of the cardinal rule is that you just don't play those guys. One, you got the guy who just choked away a victory. They're normally not as in it mentally. And then you got Harris English, who obviously just won. Normally do some celebrating and whatnot. So you're also not in your typical swing of things as well. So that is a little bit interesting to me just in general there. Yeah, I don't know. The top end is very tough because there are phenomenal plays across the board. Like I am not playing Colin Morikawa this week, and I feel good about Colin Morikawa. Daniel Berger as well. I feel good about him. Hideki as well. Like those guys could all go on and win, and it wouldn't surprise us. But you can't play everyone on the top, and you can't have your player pool be as that big. You just can't do it. especially if you're just like a cash player as well, where you really want to trim down your player pool. I can't fit in all the guys. Now, Colin Morikawa does feel like a mistake fading him, but for me, I want to pay up for Webb or English or Neiman, and there just wasn't room for me for like Morikawa, for Hideki, for Berger for that reason as well. Like Sanjay M, I know he was the most asked player this week. It seemed like a lot of people are saying, yeah, he's due to play better because this is the best putting surface, which I don't exactly buy into that as much. I do, but I don't, because there are, I don't know, just when you have it going one week, you have it going. And yes, that is more likely to happen on a surface that you typically do better at. But I don't know. I play well and play poorly myself on different grass types. It's just a matter of how I'm hitting them that week or putting them that week, or just how the level, grass level, the green level, the stim meter is that week as well. That all factors into it. Although it's not a bad thing. If they're putting well on the surface, it's not a bad thing as well. We kind of know that. But Sanjay M, everyone seems to be talking him up. And I was pretty shocked to see that his ownership was, we don't have his ownership. I think, did I change that on accident? I might change that. I'm going to refresh this real quick. It'll take a while. There's a lot of data going into the website right now. So it typically does take a while. So his ownership's not in there. I think he might be the highest owned player, if not like the third highest owner, just based on how many times people ask me about him. They really like Sanjay this week, and at his price point, I don't know. I like Cam Smith. I like Ryan Palmer. I like Abraham Ancer. The problem with the top end is just that it's loaded this week, and there's no real reason to fade any of them. And you get to a level where they are kind of just priced up a little bit. It's Doug Gim there, Andrew. I kind of touched on it in passing. I know for the core plays video this week, I was really trying to figure out which one I wanted to do. And I have more faith in Molinari making the cut just because he's played this course before. That was kind of my 50-50 decision maker. He's played the course before, so he's seen it before. He's made 2 out of 3 cuts where Doug Gim hasn't played it yet. And, that could be the reason he struggles. Now, strokes gained tee to green, phenomenal. Birdie to bogey ratio, phenomenal. Strokes gained approach, top 20. So we feel really good about that. His putting isn't the best, but hopefully he plays a little bit better. He's a top 10 stat rank. To get a top 10 stat rank and, top 20 mile rank at under 7K, I feel pretty good about that. Now, the problem with this week is that there's not enough cash plays that you feel good about. That's the biggest problem with this week. So I'm kind of doing more of a GPP focus. So like Doug Gim makes a ton of sense. Like Matthew Naismith makes a ton of sense. And I know I already touched on him, in the core plays video as well, but a week where I don't feel as good about cash, like these players make a ton of sense, where Matthew Naismith, Doug Gim, they make a ton of sense. They just do. Wesley Bryan, and now honestly, you could play Wesley Bryan. That makes sense, Andrew. Like it does. I'd be fine with Wesley Bryan as well. I will say, going forward in these videos, I know I tweeted this out last week where, like, if 9 to 5 had to do more content, what should it be? And I'm kind of thinking about just making this video just be like a fantasy golf video for that week. So I'll just cover everything, and maybe it'd be an hour-long video. I don't know, but it'd be going over the betting outrights. That'd be a good segment, like a 15-minute segment. Then it'd be DraftKings picks, which you guys already know. It'd just pretty much just be highlighting, recapping the week, and then be going into FanDuel, Yahoo, and then just maybe recapping the week that was as well a little bit. I think that'd be kind of more fun as well. But I do like getting into all your guys' questions as well, so that's kind of why I haven't done that just yet, but I do think I will be doing that going forward, just to have it kind of broken down into a specific show selection. I think that'd be fun to do kind of for everyone. And a lot of people have been asking about FanDuel, and then I could do like the round 1 showdown stuff as well. I could do that in this video as well. So Munoz, let me pull him up. Munoz does seem like he's getting talked up a decent amount, so 10%. I got him at 10%. Yeah, hey Taylor, what's going on? So finally, honestly, YouTube has not been suggesting my videos as much lately, so it's glad to see that someone's been getting it. So yeah, do you have a lineup generator for 9 to 5? It's right here. It's part of the package, so let's just click on the home page. So I got all this out there. You click on the lineup builder. brings you to the lineup builder, and then you're good to go. So you can easily use this. It's a tool where I do think, it's easy to use. You kind of got to, like anything, you got to take maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes to figure it out, play with it a little bit, run it a couple of times, but you can run it real quick, and we'll just do it right now. I'll just run 5 lineups just to see. And it pulls up. So, that's kind of what it does. You can see just this is me not doing anything with it. Those are the, projected points just based on their averages right now. So, yeah, I mean, I really like the lineup tool. I know for NFL, I used it and got a top 5 finish, top 3 finish, week 17, which is one of the easier weeks in NFL DFS. But it was nice to be able to use it because I could tell, instead of like raw projections feeding in the lineup generator, I could go through and kind of edit it out and include players that I wanted to use, which obviously for week 17, that's what you need to do. So it's nice to be able to use that tool like that. And then even last week for PGA, I was messing around with it a little bit for the Century Tournament Champions. Now, obviously you're not going to gain a huge edge in a small tournament field event like that, but it was nice to be able to use it. And I won money. It wasn't a ton, but it was nice not to go negative with it on a week where I was just kind of playing around with it, making sure it was good to go, and it is. I really like the lineup feature. So once again, you could easily, if you want it like Webb Simpson, you just go through and really juice up his projection, and then that's going to include him in all your builds. So I really like it. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it. They're good with content. It's quantity content, and people like that. Honestly, I'm not going to bad talk them, but people like to have a lot of content and just like be able to watch a show for an hour. So I like what they do out there. They're giving people content, and that's something I think I can do more of, is honestly just give more content. But I don't want it to be bad content. I want to be useful content. I don't want to be fluff. So I am going to try to go forward and give everyone more content. But once again, I don't want it to be fluff. I want it to be useful. So that's why I'm going to start breaking these shows down into kind of more of a segment, trying to give people more FanDuel plays, kind of like they're asking. Let's see here. So, Super Pete's back. It's been a while since Super Pete's been in. What's going on, man? Sorry, I need new content, so I'm like squinting at I'm down to my last 2 pairs. I'm playing it risky here. What are your... Sorry, I gotta look at this one more direct. Okay. Yeah, 4 or 5 guys that played last week. I actually don't mind that. That's a good idea. If you can do it and feel good about it, if they're grading out well for you as well, I like that. And it is kind of a safer route, but I want to go back to the fall because this was kind of a thought that I had in my fall. I forget what tournament it was, but I had this exact same thought. I'm like, oh, these guys played last week. They're going to be a little bit better. Now, there is a huge difference because obviously the trip to Hawaii plane ride, that is a huge difference. But that lineup didn't end up doing good, even though the guys that played last week and played well last week. So I would suggest, yeah, you can do that, but I don't think it should be your end-all be-all. I think that should just be, if you're stuck between 2 players, let's say, let me try to find a good example here. Sure, well, I guess Sergio and Charles Howell here. Let's get Matthew out of there. If you were stuck in between those 2, Howell and Sergio Garcia, I'm pretty confident Howell didn't play last week, right? All right, good. Yeah, if you were stuck between these 2, and for example purposes, yeah, I would say go with Sergio Garcia because he played last week. Now, he didn't play well. He played decent. That strokes gained to the green really came into play. So, yeah, that's how I would use that. I won't go crazy with it. My FanDuel lineup, Steele, Simpson, Kazire, English, Lanto. So, Lanto is getting talked up a lot, and it worries me. It does. Like he was fine as a good pump play, but at this price point, it worries me. I don't get what people are saying. Is it just because he played well last week? He was here last week. Yeah, I could get that. He's not graded out really well. I don't know. I struggle with Lanto Griffin this week. I thought he was a good pump play at the start. Maybe an ownership leverage, but I've seen him talked up a decent amount. So I would potentially rethink that unless he's very cheap on FanDuel. I haven't checked his price on FanDuel. And once again, FanDuel coverage, I do want to touch on this just live as well. That is going to be something I'm going to add to the website once I get everything locked down on the website completely the way I want it, because right now I'm pulling everything in for DraftKings, and it'll just be easier for me to bring in the FanDuel data, and everyone's already going to be acclimated to how to use it too as well. So that's kind of my goal there. But yeah, other than that, I don't mind it. I think Cameron Davis, I'm not on him this week. He was another one of those guys where I kind of wanted to be, just didn't end up on him. I'm fine with him as a play. Brendan Steele I get as well. I'm fine with that, but I didn't end up on him as well. Let's see. You know, it can handle 150. The problem with it is that the more you tell, it's like anything in life. The more you try to tell it to do, the less likely it is going to happen, because it is really trying to sort this based on the most optimal lineups. So, like, if you try to tell it too much, then it's obviously not going to go well. Let's see here. I do have a lot of programs running right now. Obviously, I'm live streaming right now. So this might take a while to do just because I have a lot of things going. Let me re-click it, sorry. I have to reload it now. Might still be doing it. Let me just reload it though and see. And I'll have it going in the background. I jinxed it. I can hear my computer. My computer's getting pissed at me. It's getting louder right now. I don't know if you guys can hear the fan. I'll just reload this one. All right. Yep. Let's see. Give it time. It just needs to reload. I'll get it going for you. But it can. I entered like 120 in the NFL one, and that was the one that I ended up getting a top 3 finish. And last week I think I only did 20 last week, which is kind of, it is more meant for 20 lineups for the optimal approach that way. But you can do 150. Like I said, I did an NFL. I'll probably do it this week, or I don't know if I'll feel good about it complete 150. I'd probably do like 110, but let's give this time to load up. Thanks for repeat. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's good to be back. I never want to talk someone off of a lineup. Who else is around that price point for FanDuel there? I can tell you if there's like someone I like a little bit better for FanDuel. I'm curious as if this is going to work, because I tried it on the NFL DFS live stream. Yeah, I don't think it worked because I'm live right now. Because I tried during the NFL DFS live stream. I'm like, that was strange that I couldn't do 150. And then I literally just logged off, turned off my streaming, and then it worked. So sometimes you just can't handle. That's obviously too much at one time. But this should work. I know I already, yeah. So 75 worked fine. Okay. Yep. It's pretty simple to use. I feel really good about it. Honestly, for the longest time, wasn't a lineup optimizer that I just felt good using, especially at the price points that they're at. Like, you pay $50 to use a lineup generator that just isn't, I don't want to say that good, but is very tedious, and you have to spend a lot of time looking it over. Now, you should do that with this, but like, you don't have to, which is the key fact. Like, you can use it pretty easily there and kind of feel good about it. Now, you do need to make it your own, but I'm pretty pumped up to give all this stuff for $10 a month, because I really don't think you should have to pay for that premium content. Like, I hate that a lot of DFS, for a majority of people, if they're trying to pay for membership, they're just paying to play pretty much to get a heads up on people. And I've always hated that about DFS in general. But just in general, just like around Lanta right now, I would say Charles Howell is safer for FanDuel purposes. I don't know if he's right there. Sergio, I didn't end up on my player pool, but I feel fine about him. I really do like Grillo. Grillo should be a safe play. His putting's horrible. I think everyone knows that. But I feel good about him as a play as well this week. Yeah, course history. His course history isn't bad. It's just not spectacular here as well. So I feel good about that. Anyway, have any more questions? It's getting to about 30 minutes. I typically don't like these to go on too long. So if we don't have any more questions, I'll be getting out of here a little bit. Probably like a minute here or so. It does feel good to have a full tournament field event back, though. It really does. Like the Century Tournament Champions is good. It's good to have something there for you for Thursday through Sunday, but nothing like a good old cut sweat. And that could be something I could do going forward. Once again, it's just trying to provide more content, but I don't want to overkill it. Like a Friday cut sweat I think would be fun, but I don't want to overkill it. Yeah, so if you are joining, definitely, yeah, single entries, honestly, I think single entries are the way to go, especially for kind of the casual player, unless you're really trying to do like high entry GPPs. The casual player should just be doing like single entries. Yeah, so the showdown slates, you can honestly, that was kind of my main focus with making the lineup optimizers at first. Well, I didn't make them, but I've been getting help from someone else to do this, getting my input of how I want them to be used. And the main thing was like, I want to be able to do showdown slates a little bit better across NBA, NFL. NFL has been nice for me personally with showdown slates. Nothing too crazy yet, but yeah, you can use it for showdown slates. Right now, I'll show you it right now here. So you click on the showdown. It's not going to load right now because there's no leaderboard up yet. So it's not going to load just yet. And I got to update the data. That will be something that happens probably tomorrow. This is more for round 2, round 3, and round 4 because round 1, we already know who we're going to be on. We already have everything written up. You know, that's what we got. That's what we got right here, you know. So we already got that all. So round 1, you should just be going off of who you see as the best plays. You should pretty much just be playing your cash build in the round 1 showdown slate, unless there's a specific early, you know, round 1 tea time. But yeah, round 2, round 3, this is where you want to go. Round 4, this is where you'll want to go. And I really like showdowns the most on round 2 just because, like, last week was a perfect example. I believe I tweeted this out. Let me see if I can actually find that tweet. Gotta keep scrolling. Yeah, this was it. So just kind of looking over the tool, I was like, you know, we know just looking at the tool, Nick Taylor's going to regress, Seb Straka, they're due to regress. That's pretty easy to see. And we saw that Dustin Johnson and Jason Kokrak would most likely regress positively in a good way, which I will say is a weird thing to say with golf because you want them to score negative points, you want them to go under par, but they're going to regress in a good way. I don't know. I think that's how you would want to phrase that. They're going to regress in a positive way. But you guys get the point there. But anyways, Dustin Johnson, Jason Kokrak, they were kind of my core for round 2 because we're chasing regression. We're chasing who's most likely going to have a good round, and that's kind of how I like to use the tool. Yeah, NBA's a grind. I have been playing. I have a sheet up for NBA as well. It's kind of the same thing, but it is a grind. And I do want to get more content out there, but I am focusing on golf right now, so all the data will load there. So yeah, I've got NBA going there as well. But yeah, my main focus is PGA, NFL, and that's why I'm not been charging for NBA just yet. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about all the tools there. Obviously, it's helping out. If you guys are joining, like Super Pete, potentially Taylor there, feel free to reach out to me on the member chat here as well, or in an email, or on Twitter. Always happy to help you guys out. I do have it kind of a decent breakdown of the tools at 9 to 5 here as well, which is something I'll keep trying to add on to. And there is the specialist page that's going to be coming here shortly as well. All right, but that is all. I don't think we have any more questions here. This was a good live stream. Going to keep these going throughout the year, obviously. I think I'll try to do 4 p.m. going forward as well for this season. Then I will be trying to do a betting focused video, but I think I'll start doing, I think that's how I'll start off the live streams going forward, is just with the betting focus, and then I'll get into PGA, DFS side of it. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. If you have any questions before lineup lock, I think it's at like 12 p.m. my time this week, Central Time. I could be wrong. I haven't checked that. It might be 2 p.m. Central like it was last week. So we have time to mess around with our lineups and kind of grind it down. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hope you guys have a good